Good evening, dear all. Let us continue the applications of Gauss's law. Yesterday we did the application number 1 with a wire. Today we do application number 2 with a sheet. Okay. So, yesterday we did application number 1 with a wire. Today we shall do application number 2 with a plain sheet. So, we have a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Now, let us break these words first. Uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. So uniformly charged, as I told in the previous video, the charge distribution over the whole sheet which we are considering is uniformly charged. That means if we consider one section of the sheet, it will have the charge density same as the other section of the sheet. Fine. And plain sheet, this is a plain sheet, it does not have any curves. We have considered like that. Now we want to find out the electric field due to a uniformly charged plain sheet. This is what we want to find out. So first let us consider a plain sheet with surface charge density sigma. Now let us write what is this surface charge density sigma. These all terms are new for you, so you have to remember these words because these words itself are your questions. What happens in a normal physics board exam or JEE or NEET? Your normal explanation after coming out from the exam is question ही नहीं समझ में आया. Why? Question ही नहीं समझ में आया. Reason that you have not understood the words used in the question. So while reading itself, you have to understand the words and study them, understand their meaning. Then you are clear with the words and you will understand the question also. Fine. So we have taken a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet which has a surface charge density of sigma. Now what is sigma? Sigma is the charge per surface area of the sheet. Now here we have considered Q as the charge in this much portion of the sheet which we are considering, okay, and S is the area of that much portion of the sheet. Now here coming to the diagram, understand what exactly we are trying to do. We have taken a sheet, consider this as a sheet, so we have taken a sheet, we have placed it perpendicular to the board and through it we have drawn a cuboidal Gaussian surface as you can see. You can also draw a cylindrical Gaussian surface through the sheet. The answer or the result will be the same. So we have taken a sheet, kept it perpendicular to the board or the plane, and within the sheet or through the sheet we have drawn a cuboidal Gaussian surface, and the charge density of the surface is sigma greater than 0, where sigma is equal to charge per area of that portion which we have considered. So its unit is coulomb per meter square, such that we can write Q is equal to sigma S, where S is the area of the portion of sheet which we have considered through which the Gaussian surface cuboidal has passed through. We can also take a cylindrical Gaussian surface passing through the sheet. Now actually is this cuboid passing through the sheet? No, it is an imaginary Gaussian surface of the shape of a cuboid. It is not there. We only have a sheet. We don't have a cuboid passing through the sheet. It is this is an imaginary Gaussian surface of the shape of a cuboid. So we have taken it, correct? And we will now consider flux by two formulas which we know. Same procedure as followed in application number 1. What are the formulas which we have considered in application number 1? Phi is equal to E delta S. This flux was by definition, and phi is equal to Q upon epsilon naught. This is the formula of flux by Gauss's law. Both the formulas we will consider one by one. So first let us consider the flux through the cuboid surface which we have considered. Okay, so let us consider three surfaces of the cuboid. Surface number 1, I rewrite it, this textbook diagram, so that you correlate with the textbook. See, NCERT is the key of every entrance or the board. So you have to correlate every theory or numerical with the textbook. So I have directly pasted the diagram from the textbook itself. Correct? Okay. So this is the surface number 1 of the cuboid which we have considered. This is the surface number 2 for the cuboid we have considered. We can consider this upper portion as the surface number 3, and we can also consider the lower portion as surface number 4 of the cuboid. Okay, we can also consider the front portion of the cuboid. We can also consider the behind portion of the cuboid. Any cuboid has 6 surfaces. We can consider all the surfaces, but we have to aim to where do we get the flux, whether it is 0 or non-zero. So one by one let us consider the surfaces of the cuboid where flux is available. Let us first talk about phi 1 for surface number 1. Phi 1 is equal to E dot S, which is equal to Es cos theta for this surface. Now what is theta? Theta is the angle between the electric field and the surface area element for this portion of the cuboid. Okay, so E is already given to us in this direction. Why it is given to us in this direction? Because sheet is like this. So according to the rule of the direction of the electric field should go outwards. So electric field is this side. So area element's direction is also this side, according to the rule that the direction of the area element is always perpendicular to this surface. Okay, so S. Fine. So what is the angle between E and S here? Theta is equal to 0. Similarly, for the surface number 2, let us finish. E is in this direction. Electric field due to this charge is outwards radially. That's why it is outwards in that direction. And according to the rule of the area element direction, okay, that direction is also along E. So what is theta for the surface 2? 0. Similarly, whether it is the surface number 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of the cuboid, everywhere for two surfaces I will show. This is the surface S1, I can say, because it is a cuboid. S is not equal to S1. This is also S1. The area element direction go upwards, but the electric field remains in this direction or this direction. So for surface number 3, the angle between the electric field and the area element S1 is given as theta is equal to, theta 3 I can write is equal to 90. Similarly here theta 4 is equal to 90. Okay, cos 90 is 0, so we can avoid considering surface 3, 4, 5, 6, because all the angles between the electric field and the area element will be 90 degrees. So we will be left over only with two surfaces, that is surface 1 and surface 2. Clear? For surface 1, the angle between E and S is 0 degree. For surface 2, the angle between E and S is also 0 degree. For surface 3, the angle between S and E, S1 and E is 90 degrees. Cos 90 is 0, so that flux need not be considered. For surface number 4, the angle between S1 and E is again 90 degrees, as you can see. So cos 90 is 0. So for that surface also, surface number 4 also, you can avoid writing the flux. So we have flux only through two surfaces, 1 and 2. Fine. Okay. So I am writing phi1 here. Okay. And E cos 0, because theta is equal to 0 for surface 1. So answer is ES. Similarly, phi 2 for the surface 2 is electric field E dot S. Again, the surface for phase 1 and phase 2 will be same. Surface 1 and surface 2 will be same. So I have written area S for both the surfaces. So ES cos 0. Cos 0 is 1, so ES. So total surface, total flux through all the surfaces of the cuboid is phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi 3 plus phi 4 plus phi 5 plus phi 6, where we already argued that all these fluxes through these surfaces is equal to 0, because the angle between the electric field and the area element is 90 degrees. Cos 90 is 0. So we need not consider that flux. So we are left over with phi is equal to phi 1 plus phi 2. Phi 1 is ES, phi 2 is ES. So we get 2ES. So phi is equal to 2ES. Using the formula, by definition we get phi is equal to 2ES. Let us name it as equation number 1. Now let us find out the flux using the second formula of the Gaussian surface application, or the Gauss's laws application. Phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. So let us try to find out phi by the second formula, Q. Now what is Q? With surface charge density sigma, Q is equal to sigma S upon epsilon naught. I am using this formula. Q is equal to sigma S, which I picked up from here, and epsilon naught, which is the formula. So now this is my formula number 2. Both are flux, whether I find out by definition or whether I find out by Gauss's law. So I equate equation 1 and 2, and we get 2ES is equal to sigma S upon epsilon naught. S cancels. So I finally have electric field is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. This is the electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Irrespective of the shape of the Gaussian surface which we have imagined, there is no area element in the formula. If I want to write the vector notation of this, then I write E arrow is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught n cap, where n cap is the unit vector, and if sigma is greater than 0, the direction of the electric field is radially outward, and if sigma is less than 0, the direction of the electric field or the unit vector is radially inward. Fine. Now this formula has to be by-hearted by you. It will be useful in the chapter number 2 also. In the next section of the same video, I will be using 2 sheets and find out the electric field due to 2 sheets in region 1, region 2 and region 3. This kind of questions will be there for you for the board exam also, NEET also and JEE also. So I am just not doing any numerical, but 3 varieties, possible varieties of 2 sheets we shall discuss and understand how to find out the electric field at different sections. So now we move to the next section. Before that, just take a pic of the written work on the board. I'll just move. Fine.